Today's video, we're going to talk about home remodeling advertising ideas. If you have a home remodeling business, regardless of that being kitchen remodeling, home remodeling in general, whether you're doing bathrooms, whether you're doing tub to shower conversions, whether you're adding high-end custom cabinetry, which we've also worked with in the past. I've worked with all of the ones that I mentioned here in the last 10 years or sometime within the last 10 years of running our advertising firm, and how to specifically do this in a way that's going to for sure get you results because your competitors are not willing to do it, because your consumers that you're trying to sell to are going to appreciate that you did it, and then the results that we got thereof from these in terms of cost per lead, closing rates on the leads. I'm going to tell you about all of that and more in today's video. I am Corey. I'm an owner of Guaranteed PPC, a online advertising / PPC agency that guarantees results for their clients. That is, we do not take a management fee from our clients until we get them a certain minimum level of profitability on their campaigns up front, or a certain minimum level of profitability on a new campaign if we agree to take a client on and can give them results before we take our management fee. No agency on the planet offers any kind of guarantee like that, or guarantee at all for that matter, which should tell you something about the quality of the information that you're getting on this video that you're about to watch. With that said, I am going to give you, based upon 20 years of advertising experience overall, and then working with not one, not two, but several home remodeling contractors, you understand backwards and forwards what it actually takes to make millions of dollars running ads for your business. If you stay to the end of the video, I will actually go through the physical metrics, profit, all of that on how these methods will perform for your home remodeling business if you go ahead and execute these for your business, because a lot of people are going to say this is too much work. They'll talk themselves out of it. I don't see how that would work. You do it, you'll get the results. I promise you. If you don't, you can feel free to come back and chew me out in the comment section. I will be here. So with that said, okay, what I've done is broke this down into 3 steps, which all the advertising campaigns we run at our firm, it's always going to be, okay, there's 100 things we can do for this business in terms of running ads online. Here's the most profitable, easy to get working thing, and therefore we'll do this first. We'll take the money that we're making from this, parlay it into the second most easiest thing to get working, and so forth. Obviously, volume of profit to be considered, but also ease of execution. You obviously want it ideally both on the stuff that you start out with, because why would you not start out there? So with that said, what you should all be doing, including yourself, when you start out, because it's the easy, low-hanging fruit in your space, in your local market, if you will, is just properly running the Google search ads. Why? Because these are people already ready to buy, and all you got to do is run the ads better than your competition. You will make money, which is not hard to do at all if you just put the effort in and don't just do what everybody else wants to do, which is set up their ads in 15 minutes and then that Google's a scam, because that's what they want to do. Instead of spending 200 hours setting up the best possible campaign and then just crushing it, because your competition's not willing to do that work, or they'll talk themselves out of it again. And with that said, which obviously you pay somebody to do that if you don't want to do the work yourself, pay a few grand to get it set up right, that's going to do better than your competition, and you will just make that back in 1 month's worth of profit, frankly. What you're going to do is there's kind of like 3 categories that this is going to be broken out to if you want to make the big mega buco bucks with this, running Google search ads. And if you want to add Bing search ads to this, anything that works on Google is going to work on Bing. But you got the room specific keywords, people typing in kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling. That is if you're an overall contractor that can do more than 1 room. If you can do only 1 room, then obviously that's not an opportunity per se. If you just do kitchens or bathrooms, let's say, you could target all the item specific searches. Shower to tub conversions, bathroom tile installation. There's a lot of these individual searches that people search for that you could target individually. The reason why you want to do this, even though there's not that many people per month searching for granite tile installation for bathrooms, 10 people a month that do search, if you have a laser targeted ad set up for that and a page to take them to on your site that confirms to the user that in fact you do that, you'll get a lead every month from that exact thing. But you take that times 100, now you got 100 leads a month that are super, super, super qualified. They know exactly what they want. and they know for sure you offer it, and you'll close at like 30% of those leads by doing that. And your competitors don't want to set ads up for these specific services. Sometimes they do, most of the time they don't, and certainly not all the services you could offer. That is where you want to be first and foremost, because these people already have in their mind that they're going to hire somebody. Looking for bathroom granite tile installation if you are already at the end of your process of deciding that you're going to go ahead and hire somebody, versus typing in home remodelers Dallas, you're maybe going to hire somebody, but more people than not are just going to be in the stages of browsing around. And so you could spend your money there. If you want to spend your money on the stuff that's most likely to convert and therefore has the highest ROI, you go after the people that are the closest to purchase. The longer the keyword that they type in, the more likely they are to convert into a customer in general or as a whole. Just as to give you a general rule of thumb, it's just to do it right. You can't say, hey, Corey, that didn't work, but you had a generic ad that said home remodeling, and you had a page you took them to on your site which says home remodeling. To do it right, you need a unique ad that says exactly what they're looking for. So if they're looking for granite tile installation for bathrooms, you have an ad that says bathroom tile installation for bathrooms, literally, and a landing page that says the exact same thing in the headline, ideally with the picture that's relevant right there at the top of the page, and that's how you're going to specifically crush it. So you want to take it all the way. You also got keywords to target that are overall keywords. Home remodeling contractor, home renovating Dallas, and the like. Okay, so just as a general rule of thumb there, you want to target people in the top 10% of income demographic because they'll be way more easy to close. You're not going to have the issue of people that don't have money after you give them the quote, unless you're the cheap provider in your area, which you can legitimately do that. Then you could go after the bottom half. And in that case, what I would recommend you do is offer a financing program. Then you go after that's your advantage, going after the people that nobody else wants, because everybody else wants the high-end customers. You go get the low-end ones. The leads will be cheaper, and you can close them with a finance program and actually can be very profitable. We got a roofer, just to let you know as a small side example, and that's exactly what he's doing. We run display ads on YouTube everywhere for people that are in market for a roof. Works extremely well. I'm generating leads for $50 a pop and closing about like 1 out of 5 to 1 out of 10, somewhere in there. It fluctuates, month to month. It's a legitimate business strategy in and itself. Depending on if you're on the low end or the high end of the market, you will go financing, or just on the high end, you just focus on you're the most trusted, best contractor in the space. That said, so that is, in general, I can break the numbers down by sub-niche, that is bathroom renovators, kitchen renovators, and whatever. But the video will go on too long. In general, what you're going to have from your search ads, when you go ahead and you set up the ads the way that I said, where every keyword you target has a unique ad and a unique landing page, regardless of what it is. And don't just target 10 keywords, you target 500. So you can really get a laser targeted ad and landing page for each person. Then you're going to pay about $100 a lead, which is very cheap for the space. And you're going to close about 15% of those leads, which is very profitable. You're going to be at 7-8% marketing cost. That's your bread and butter. That's your base. You want that as your base first because it's the easy low-hanging fruit. Takes no special sales process, because once you get into generating leads for people that are just doing research, you got to have a damn good sales process that takes some time to put together. Whereas this can be closed by a secretary answering the phone and if somebody, coming out and giving them a quote. That said, if you do what we call in the marketing space, top of the funnel advertising, getting in front of people who are just starting to do their research, you could spend all that money to get their attention, get them to download an ebook that mentions like home renovator buyer's guide, whatever. But then people will do this, and then they don't have the bottom of the sales funnel efficient. They don't have their ads blanketed everywhere on Google search for their main keywords that represent their niche, home renovator, home remodeler, whatever. So what happens is you spend all this money to educate somebody. 2 weeks go by, they're ready to pull the trigger. They go to Google, they can't find you, they go with somebody else. You gave them the idea, and now somebody else gets the sale. So it's silly to go ahead and try to go after the big picture idea and the stuff that can really scale by interrupting people and convincing them to do business with you before you have the bottom of the funnel efficient, where people that are already ready to buy are coming to you at the highest rate they can first. That's step one to get out of the way. Step two, once you've gotten that, assuming you don't have as much profit as you want, which, by the way, just as a side, a lot of guys are still using Yelp ads to try to generate leads. For the most part, that's a waste of time. If you don't believe me, set up a call tracking number for your profile and see how many calls you're getting. For the most part, it's not profitable. I've seen it be profitable time to time for stuff like foundation repair services, which that's a type of space where people are highly, highly skeptical. And if you're in a space like that, yeah, maybe it can be worth it because reviews are everything, and it's the type of thing you can't get screwed up, or otherwise you're effed. So it could possibly work. It's just really dumb to try that and never try anything else. Act like a scientist, run your Google ads, run your Yelp ads, track calls, track your cost per call. Furthermore, the more important thing, track your cost per sale and revenue per sale on each platform individually using a call tracking provider like CallRail, and then decide if Yelp is something you should use long term. So there's no fault in trying it. It's just to do it blindly for years and have no clue if it's profitable or not is an idiotic move that many people do because they're lazy or they're just arrogant. They don't want to admit that what they're spending their money on doesn't work. So with that said, going into step 2, what you're typically going to do is your Google display campaign, your demand gen campaign, which is a type of campaign you run through your Google Ads account that runs your ads on Gmail and YouTube as well. And then also your YouTube ads that will show up on videos that the people are watching on YouTube. And then there's 2 ways to target your ads here. You target people looking for related content. That is, if you're trying to sell kitchen remodeling, you want to target every single web page that people would find through Google about kitchen remodeling. You also are going to target any video on YouTube about kitchen remodeling. So if they're looking for kitchen remodeling ideas, how to hire a kitchen remodeler without getting ripped off, anything like that at all, or your competitors' reviews where people are talking about their experience with that remodeler, meaning people that are thinking about hiring them or watching that, you blanket all that content with an ad that has an offer on it of an irresistible offer to get their attention and email and phone number from them. Typically, what that's going to be is forget about the buyer's guide that I mentioned a while ago, whereas that's better than nothing. It can work depending if you're in a super refined niche like home elevator installation where there ain't a lot of people doing it. A buyer's guide can work, and it worked in that situation. However, kitchen remodeling is damn competitive. If you're in that space, what you want to do is a piece of content that says home remodeler expert tells all what home remodelers don't want you to know. Home remodeler expert explains exactly how people are getting ripped off and how to avoid it. That's one of my favorite ways to run content outside of, showing somebody the difference between all the home remodelers in the area and comparing them to each other, like in a way that would be easy to understand, such as here's the average review rating on all of them, here's the average price range on all of them, which is something that really helps the user and would be something where a person that is in market for what you sell, they would be happy they found it, which is what your goal is. If you can't, picture your consumer seeing your ad and be like, damn, I'm glad I saw that ad, then come up with something better, because that's the type of thing that it actually takes to make it profitable after paying the cost of your ads and your guys and everything else. Anyway, if you want to just simplify it though, come up with the content like I explained that is a tried and true piece of content that you put together. And yes, it's kind of skeezy or cheesy or whatever you want to call it, but that's the type of stuff that works, because otherwise people are going to see your content, your buyer's guide. They're going to say, I could go to Google and find that in 5 minutes. I don't give it. And then you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. It has to be something that they can't find anywhere else and that they actually really, really value. What you do is you create a banner ad with that message on it. Don't get fancy. What home remodeling companies don't want you to know. You literally could just have that text as is, like we did it before in that space. Have that on the banner ad, drive them to a landing page that has that ebook on it. The ebook form is going to ask for at least the phone number and email. Then you work those leads, of course. So that goes on any websites that is about home remodeling. You come up with a video ad that has the same messaging on it, which goes on any video about home remodeling. And you just drive as many leads as you can that way first, because if somebody's actively looking for information about home remodeling, they're going to be highly perceptive to a message that tells people how not to get ripped off by what tricks home remodelers are doing, kitchen remodelers were doing. That's the tried and true formula that is going to suck out as many leads from the top of the funnel or the top of the market where people are starting to research. The other way that you expand this further, once you have that marketing piece, that ebook, then you could target all the people that have typed in a buying search recently. Google has it with something called custom intent audiences, where if somebody's typed in kitchen remodeling, cabinet remodeling companies, or kitchen cabinet remodeling companies like that, you can then have that same ad show up for a person. And then you'll get a lot more leads. It's not as good as having your ad show up for people that are actively researching information about kitchen remodeling, but it'll still get, let's say it's 25 to 35% as effective in terms of, because the cost per, basically the cost per lead will be 3 times higher doing that. The leads cost is still affordable and it should still be profitable for you because these people are already in market for what you're selling. You're just getting them their information so you can call them up and make your pitch, if you will. Anyway, you want to do that as well. And that will get you a bunch of business as well. In terms of the results now, what you should expect from doing this in terms of a blended cost per lead, you should be about $300 a lead, close about 5% of those leads. So we're talking about, it's going to cost you a lot to close a job. Obviously, on a $50,000 job, a kitchen remodeling job, that's 10% marketing cost. It's still doable. You could easily increase the closing rate by just hiring a better salesperson. Now you're at 5% marketing cost. How you work those leads is going to matter a lot. And fluctuate your closing rate a lot to what point where you're at. You could be at anywhere between 3% and 25% based upon the salesperson working the leads. But that is a way to keep a salesperson basically consistently busy. If you want the best results out of it, when somebody downloads the form, you have an automated system that calls your salesperson in real time and says XYZ downloaded the ebook. Press 1 to contact them. And so while they're reading the ebook, they get the call from the salesperson. The salesperson picks up the phone. They say basically, hey, I know you downloaded my ebook. I just wanted to let you know that if you have any questions about home remodeling or kitchen remodeling at all, 1,000 people renovate their kitchens. Basically answer any questions that you have. What are you trying to do with your kitchen? You leave an open-ended question at the end of that little spiel, and then they just start talking about their situation. So basically, you didn't even have to wait until they actually read the ebook. Use that just to get their information from a person that's in market, and then you just get them to start talking about what they're going to do, and then you got them. Because once they start talking, then you can build rapport with them, and then if they're going to go with anybody, they're going to go with you. That's really all you're doing with all of this. That's the formula that I would recommend to you if you want to go further than what search ads itself can provide. So the cost per sale itself and the ROI will be similar to Google search if you have a really good sales process of having the salesperson answer the leads in real time. He's a really good killer salesperson or deliberate about what you do. I see clients that are from all the time complain about our lead quality, but their sales process isn't even defined. They're just winging it. Whoever answers the phone answers the phone. Whatever's said on the phone, that's totally just, they wing it every time. You got to have an actual script process if you want repeatable results that's going to really work. So that you can test it. The way that I just said how you start out that call, that'll decide if 10% hang up the phone right away, 20, 30, it all makes a difference. You can't just randomly do stuff, just like you can't with the ads. You can't just randomly throw an ad out there and expect it to work. It's all down to the details whether it works or not. And literally, I could give the same leads to one guy with a really good sales process and he's crushing it, and I could give it to another guy and the guy just wants to basically, if he could, choke me because I'm ripping him off with the leads that I'm providing him. And there's no difference in the lead. It was just how it was handled. So you can't get into doing this stuff and just think half of the process is just the sales process as to whether you're going to close or not, which is why people like Google search ads and go for them so much, because they don't have to do anything to sell. But if they were just deliberate about their sales process, they could sell anybody who's in market for a job, for a service, just fine. Take it from me. We've done this several times now. And with that, the other reason why you go ahead and you go through the trouble of creating the sales process for yourself, even though it's not the easiest, it's not hard, it's just not the easiest, and you got to monitor your closing rates and all that. The reason why you do this is because you can make 10 times as many sales through this as you can with this, because there's a lot more opportunities to get an ad in front of somebody doing research than at the last second looking for a company. Okay? For that matter, if you're really good at sales, this can actually be more profitable in terms of profit per job, because you can build rapport with people and you're operating more so in a vacuum over here versus here where you're just seen as one of many. Even though on your landing page, you can convey, we got this review score on Google, this review score on Yelp, we've been in business 25 years, and make yourself separated from the crowd that way, it's still going to be seen as one of many because there's 20 companies listed on Google search for somebody when they search for bathroom remodeling contractors, versus here, you're the expert. You've made yourself the expert. So you're not actively looking to buy right now, which makes selling tough. Once you actually do start talking to them and you got talking over the phone with them for like 10, 20 minutes, it's extremely powerful at least after that point, because they're not looking at anybody else really at that point in time. They might still get some other quotes, but you're in the top one in the running at that point in time once you've gotten at least that far with it. Anyway, so that's number 2. If you still aren't satisfied here with the leads that mechanism I just told you to set up for yourself already, then you can get into step 3 and get even more leads, which is your Facebook ads. But before I dig into that, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, you absolutely should, as the information I'm sharing with you on this channel is just priceless information that you're not going to find elsewhere. The reason why the information on this channel is so good and so rare and so useful is because I spent 20 years to develop the information I'm giving you here, and I'm spending 40 hours a week doing ad testing at our firm as my sole job. Therefore, I have real running information about what works and what doesn't work, and having set up hundreds of accounts. Most of the information you're going to find online is through ghostwriters or people that don't run any ads and are just selling courses or whatever. It's mostly all garbage information as a result of that. If you're new to advertising, you may not realize that, but I can tell you firsthand that's the case. So if you're going to pay attention to anything, pay attention to this information first, truly. With that, you also can find my blog, which has my actual step-by-step advice on how to guarantee results for yourself. Certain strategies we use at our firm to do that. If you like the channel, you'll like the blog as well, probably even more. You can find my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. You should check that out as well. For that matter, if you have any questions about anything that I covered here or any ad-related question related to home remodeling, advertising, even if it's about offline advertising, because I talk to these clients in the home remodeling space about everything else they're doing, like Yelp that we normally don't run and whatever, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. So with that said, getting into the step 3 of this process here now, Facebook ads. Now, most people think Facebook ads don't work because they're just going to throw an ad right up right away for home remodeling, and they think that's going to work. That's not going to work. I can tell you from firsthand experience, don't waste your time with it. Or if you have done it, Facebook ads just hasn't worked for you because you didn't know what you were doing, basically. The way that you get things to work is you put your step 2 together to get in front of people who are actively in market for what you sell. Then the people who download that ebook, you market to them with a Facebook ad. Or people that have gotten to your website checking you out but haven't bought yet, you remarket to them on Facebook. With the best situation there is just to show before and afters, baby. Show before and after, after before and after, after before and after, after before and after. Literally, before and after. The next ad they see, before and after. Next ad they see, before and after. Once they've saw like 25 of those, they're sold already. There's nothing people want to see more than the work that you've done. After they know you've been in business XYZ number of years and all that, that's what they want. They want to see that you've done a good job and want to visualize what kind of job you're going to do for them. So I would recommend like a 20 ad sequence with just before and afters on it and really keep it simple and to that. Drive them to your website where they can see all the rest of the before and afters and wait up. Call you or whatever. And so that does 2 things. It gets people more likely to respond who haven't yet. That is to call you. And it gets people who've called to close at a higher rate. Ideally, the before and afters have the person's name and the quote from the person about what they said. That's the holy grail that you want to go for if you can. But yeah, that's what you want to do to keep it simple. There's other stuff you can do I won't get into, but that's like the go-to. Then you got your flag down ads. So the reason why Facebook ads don't work well, just saying I'm a home remodeler, is because it's untargeted advertising. Only 1% of the people in the general populace in your serviceable market is actually looking to renovate or remodel their home at any given time. Probably 0.01. So running your ads to everybody to find the 0.01% is highly inefficient use of your advertising spend. So what you do though is you still run your ad to everybody to try to find the 0.01%. You know the lead cost is going to be higher, but in order to make this work so that when you do get in front of somebody who is in market, they actually respond. Let's think about it from your perspective. If you're going to remodel your home and you see something on Facebook about, hey, we're the best home remodeler, you're not going to why should I take my time from looking at my family photos and all this to respond to you right now? I'm not in the mood for it. I'm drunk. I'm hungover from the night before, whatever. I'm not responding to this ad right now.
Remember when I said Google search ads was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.